Welcome friends. So today we are going to see 8051 programming in C, like embedded C programming for 8051. So welcome to my channel Neeraj Kapse. Those who are not subscribed my channel yet, please press the subscribe button and also press the notification bell icon for next upcoming updates. Okay, we will start with programming in C, that is embedded C with 8051. So programming of C programming is very basic programming language, and if you know the C programming, then it's very easy for you to grab a different programming language and different programming concepts as well. Okay, so 8051 also uses assembly as well as C programming for writing a code or writing the programs. Okay, so we'll see in detail these things. Okay, so programming for microcontroller. So how you can program the microcontroller? So the thing is, uh, of C of higher level languages, like C is a closest to assembler level language. Okay, bit manipulation instructions are possible in a C, so we can have bit manipulations to be done with the C programming. Also you can use the pointers like indirect addressing mode using a C language. Okay, the most of the microcontrollers have available for the C compiler, so many of the microcontrollers support the C compiler. This is again advantage, that's why C is popular. Writing a C code simplifies your development of a large project. So it simplifies your code and it simplifies the development of the large project. So we can divide your code in different modules or different functions, and we can call those particular functions. So a larger size code can be reduced to a smaller size code, and this reduces the complexity of a code. That's why C is a popular for the popular language in embedded C. Okay, so why C programming for 8051? So why it is C programming is there? Compiler produces the hex file. So as we have seen how to create an hex file, so I will show you today also how to create an hex file. So compiler produces hex files and downloaded on a ROM of a microcontroller. So these hex files can be downloaded into the ROM of a microcontroller. So microcontroller holds that particular hex file, and when you press reset, and then it will start executing the code from that hex file. The C programming is less time consuming. Very good advantage of the C programming is it's less time consuming. So time required for programming of a C is very less. It has a larger hex file size, but it has a larger hex file size than that of a assembly level language programming. But the thing is, it's having a modular one. So we can create or we can divide your program in a modular or function, and then we can call those particular functions at any point of a time in a program. So that is a very suitable programming for a C. The reasons for writing the programs in a C: it is easier and less time consuming write C than the assembly. So writing a C programming is easier and less time consuming than the assembly level programming. Okay, we'll see, or we'll compare both the programmings. Then C can be easier to modify and update. Suppose if you want to change the controller or if you want to modify the code, then we can just little bit modification is required in a C, and we can use the same code or same C code for the another controller as well. So this is modify and update is possible in a C, and it is easy. Then there are many code available in a function library. So there are standard functions are available in a C, and those standard functions we are going to use it directly. So no need to write those code. Directly we can call those APIs, or directly we can call those headers, and then those functions can be worked with a C. Okay. Another very good advantage of this is C is a portable to my other microcontrollers with little or no modification. So this is very important. It is a portable language. What do you mean by portability? Portability means portability is very important. Portable means you can use the same C code for different microcontrollers. Suppose you have Atmel controller, and you have like microchip controller. Those controllers are having different instruction set. Instruction set are different for both. Microchip instruction set is different. For those Atmel and microchip instruction sets are different, but if you write the code in a C, or if you write the code in a C for this as well, so interpolation or intertransfer of the code is possible. Like we can have this same code, we can use it for microchip with little or no modification. So if the port names are changed, we can change those names, and it's the same code can be worked for microchip as well as for Atmel. So this is the major advantage of a C language. But in case of assembly language, what the thing we need to do? We need to write the full code, because all the instruction set are different. But for the in case of a C, it is not required. So we can use it. It is a portable language. Okay. So next is there are availability of compilers. So there are many compilers available for the C. Like we have a Kale. Kale is a integrated development environment, that is IDE, and we have been using this for a lab. Also we have Reads 5.1. So there is another compiler available known as Reads 5.1. So you can download it from regelcorp.com/Reads 5.1. So again, it is another compiler available. So we can download it from Regal website. Note down this website, that is regelcorp.com/Reads 5.1. Also there is a freeware SDCC small device C compiler. So this is a freeware compiler, and it is an open source compiler. You can download it from sdcc.soundforge.net. Okay, so it's open source. Then we have a LPC Expresso. This is for NXP compilers from NXP Philips. Currently it is NXP, and this is formerly Philips. Okay, then we have Micro C Programmer, that is for 8051, that is from Microelectronica. Again, this is a very nice compiler, and many APIs are written in Micro C. I will show you this Micro C as well. It's a very portable. Micro C Pro is the name for the compiler. Also we have a GCC compiler. So GCC is this for Linux. So those who are using a Linux platform, they can use GCC compiler. Okay, so these are the different available compilers for 8051. Okay, then compilation process of a Kale IDE. So how your program compiles, and what are the things it will do within compilation. So this is also known as a build process. So this is known as a build process, BUILD. Okay, build process. So what is a build process actually? So we write first a program in a C, that is program.c is the name given for the program. Okay, after that it goes to a pre-processing stage. In a pre-processing stage, the same program gets converted into program.intermediate file, that is program.i. I'm going to show you all the files. After that it goes to a compilation stage. So in a compilation stage, again the same program.i converted into two files. One is program.lst, that is a list file, and second is a program.objects. This is an object file. So these two files created. So this is a separate object file of your program, and this is a list file of a program. List file contains all the instructions and everything. Then it goes to a linking stage. Under a linking stage, it links these two files with the standard library files. Okay, it links with these two files with the standard library files, and it creates a hex file or a bin file. So makefile will create hex file or a bin file. So there are two options that different compiler or different processors will use, either .hex file or .bin file. So both are fine for many of the compilers and many of the programmers. Okay, so this whole process is known as an build process. So this is known as an build process, BUILD process. Okay, next we'll move forward. Again, C is a modular programming. Like most of the high level languages, C is a modular programming and language, but not the object oriented programming language. Object OP is different, like object oriented programming is different. So in this, everything is treated as object. But in case of this, C is a modular programming language. Each task can be encapsulated as a function. So we can write different functions in a C, and those functions we can call. Entire program encapsulated in a main function. So there must be a main function, and main function is required in a C. So C is a modular programming language. It is not a OPS language. Okay. the basic programming structure of a C. What is the basic structure of a C programming? So we have here a compiler directives and include files. So very first line we need to write like compiler directives or include files. So like hash include reg51.h. So it is a include files. Then second is we need to write global declaration of a variables and a constant. Okay, so declaration of variables and a constant we need to do. Then we need to do a declaration of a functions. Then main function is required. So this is a starting point of your program, main function. Then we need to write a sub functions, and if there are interrupt service routines, then we need to write those ISRs. Okay, so these are the basic structure. This is a basic structure of a C programming. Okay, then there are different data types used in a C. So these already you know these things. So one data type is an integer. To represent integer, integer data type is used. It is a 16 bits on our compiler. So it takes 16 bits. Character, again it takes 8 bits, like 1 byte. This is 2 bytes instruction. Then short is there. Short takes again 2 bytes. So 16 bits is corresponds to 2 bytes. Long will take 32 bits, that is 4 bytes, and S bit is a 1 bit instruction. So it is a 1 bit instruction. So this is, we can call, this is 2 bytes instruction. Again this is 1 byte instruction. This is 2 byte instruction. Then long is a 4 byte instruction, and this is 1 bit instruction. Okay, so this is a bit instruction, and these are the 2 bytes instructions. Okay, all right. Next is signed and unsigned data types. So signed and unsigned data types are very important. We can decide a range of your data. So at what range it works. Like if you consider a character is of 1 byte, like 8 bits. So the range of the character is 2 raised to 8. So 2 raised to 8 corresponds to 256. Okay, but this 256 divided by 2 will get 128. So this means that we can have a range of minus 128 to plus 127. So total range full together is 256. Okay. Similarly, we have unsigned character. You can get it 0 to 255. For this unsigned short is again 16 bit. So 2 raised to 16 will get, that is 65536. So we'll get a range of minus divided by 2 you can do. We'll get 32768. So you will get a range of 32768 to plus 32767. Again unsigned int again of 16 bits. So my same range is there. For long it is 2 raised to 32. So 2 raised to 32 is a too big number. So you'll get this particular range. Okay. Then we have unsigned char. So this is for signed. Signed means it's having negative as well as positive. For unsigned char, 8 bits again 0 to 255. Unsigned short 16 bit 0 to 65535, unsigned int 0 to 65535, and unsigned long we have 0 to plus 4294967295. Okay, so this is the range of your data. This particular range is very important while writing a program. Then there are different operators are used in a C. So these are categorized as arithmetic, relational operator. Then we have equality operator, then we have logical operator, increment and decrement operator, then we have bitwise operator. Okay, so here we in our arithmetic operator we have plus, minus, multiply and division. So these are the 4 operators we were having in arithmetic operator. Then in a relation, less than equals to, greater than or greater than equals to, equality is equals to and not equals to. So there is a difference between is equals to sign and is equals to sign. This is a relational operator. So if you take this operator, this is assignment operator. And when we type is equals to, this is a relational operator. Okay. So this is the difference. So this checks RHS and LHS. So if both are equal, then it gives 1 true. If both are not equal, then it gives you false. So this assigns it. So it assigns LHS with the RHS value directly. So this is the logical operator. So we can have AND and OR logical operator. In the logical operator, suppose if only 2 values are there, like either logic 1 or logic 0. So there are two states only, either 1 or a 0. So how it offers, like a is equals to suppose 7 and b is equals to 3. So how this logical operator will work, a and b. So if I write c is equals to a and b, means what? A is non-zero value, b is a non-zero value, so 1 and with 1 it will do, it is 1, c is equals to 1. So it is having only two states, 0 and 1. But in case of a bitwise ANDing, so what it will do, again the same example will take, 7 is 0 1 1 1 and 3 is 0 0 1 1. So it will AND it, 1 AND with 1 is 1, 1 AND with 1 is 1, 1 AND with 0 is 0, 0 AND with 0 is 0. So it is a 3. In case of a and of b, d is equals to a and of b, d is equals to 3. So this is a bitwise operation. So it will do bitwise ANDing and all, and this is what you call, it is a logical operator. Okay. So also we have here increment, so plus it is a pre and post, so both things are available here. So we can use this in a program, pre-increment and post-increment, also pre-decrement and post-decrement, and these are the bitwise operators. Okay, so this is about operators in a C. So next we have some keywords. So all the 32 keywords from a C are copied. Okay, so those we have already known. 32 keywords are common. So there are few another keywords available, underscore, at, underscore, then far is there, then sbit is there, align is there, idata is there, sfr is there, bdata is there, interrupt is there, sfr16 is there, bit is there, large, small, code, pdata, underscore task underscore, compact is there, underscore priority underscore, using is there, data is there, return is there, return is there, and xdata is there. So these are the additional keywords. So these are the additional keywords. So 32 plus this additional keywords. Okay, so 32 plus these additional keywords are used in a C. Next, there are different data types of a C, embedded C, data and iData. So this data and iData is used to store the internal data of a memory for a controller. Like we can write like this: unsigned char data name and unsigned char iData and name. So iData is the internal data and this is external data. So B data is there. This is to store a bit addressable memory of a controller. Like unsigned char B data of x. Each bit of a variable x can be accessed as follows: x or 1 is equals to 1. That is, first bit of a variable x is set. X or 0 is equals to 0. 0th bit of x will be cleared. So like this we need to do. Okay. So x is the memory address. Okay, bit addressable. B data is used for bit addressable. Then we have a x data. X data is stored in external RAM of a controller, unsigned char x data of x. Then code is there. This keyword is stored constant variable in a code memory. Like we can have unsigned char code str. This is a constant string. So this stores in code memory. Then we have a p data. So this stores the variable in a page data memory. So we have unsigned char p data of x. So this p data, code, x data, these are the keywords. So you can observe that here we have p data, we have x data, we have y data, we have a data. So these are the keywords. We have b data here and I data here. So these are the keywords. Okay. Also underscore, at, underscore, this keyword is used to store the variable with a defined memory location in a RAM. So like if you want to store some memory addresses at 30h onwards, so we can write like this: unsigned char iData x underscore at underscore 0x30. The next is bit instruction. So bit keyword. So this is keyword is used to define the special bit of SFR. SFR stands for special function register, and we can write like this: sbit motor to 3.0. So we can connect motor to 3.0 like this. Then there is another keyword known as an SFR. SFR is used to define an 8-bit of special function register from memory, like SFR port 1 to 0x90. So port 1 is assigned to 0x90. As we have seen that SFR address for port 1, that is memory address for port 1, is 0x90. Okay. Next is using is a keyword. So using is used to define the register bank for the function. Those user can specify the register bank 0, 1, 2, 3. So like void function using 2 means it will select bank 2. Okay, then we can write a code here, and then while the function name uses a bank 2 executing for this particular code. Then we have a small, then we can use a variable. All the variables are in internal data memory. When we write a small, when we write a compact, it variables in one page. Maximum is 256 variable, limited due to the addressing scheme memory access indirect using R0 and R1 register. Then you can use a large, that is all the variables are in external RAM. Variables are accessed using a data pointer. So in this case the data pointer is used. So data pointer stands for 16-bit address, and then in case of a large keyword this data pointer is used. Okay, then we can have a C extensions. In addition of a data type, we can have an extension like bit is an extension used for a new flag, like bit status is equals to 20h. So we can access this 20h from this using this bit flag. Yes, bit again, SBit LED to 3.0, the assigning the name for the LED. SBit SFR is there, again assigning for 8-bit of a data, like this SFR LCD data, LCD underscore data is equals to 0x80, like this. Then we have a bit, and then we have status as well. Then here is an example of write a program to send the value 0, 0 and FF to the port 1. Okay, so we can write both the programs. So this is embedded C program, hash include reg51.h, void main void using unsigned character z, and for z is equals to 0, semicolon z is less than 255 p1 is equals to z, and then end. So so here it is used as a data. Unsigned char is used. Why? Because we require only a 002 ff 002 ff range, like 00 to 255 only. Okay, so we'll see how we can execute this particular program. So here it is in program for writing embedded C program for writing this. Okay, if I want to write the assembly program, okay, if I want to write the assembly program, then we can do like this. So we require to have 255 values, so we can write like this: org 4 times 0 h sjump to main. Then we can write a main program here. Move R0, I can take a counter hash 255. Then we can take move a comma hash 00h. Okay, then I can send this a data into the port 1. So move p1 comma a inc a, increment the accumulator by 1, d and z. So I need to send it to all the R0 comma up. My up will be here, and then end. So this is the program of assembly, but the same full program gets converted into a C program just by using one for loop. So this is reduction of the program as well. So it reduces the program. Here we can use hash include reg51.h, void main void, unsigned char z, it's a character z. Then for z is equals to 0, less than z, less than 255, z plus plus. Then we have p1 is equals to z, and then end. Okay, so we'll see in the Kale how it works. So I'll open a Kale and show you the things. I'll create a new folder. This program. Okay, then I will open a Kale. Where is the Kale? Yeah, Kale Macrovision file. So I'll show you both the programming language by using C as well as embedded C as well as assembly. It is opened. So first we'll write assembly program. So I will select project, new project, select your directory, desktop. Here it is, test program. So I'll create new folder, assembly. So I'll select this folder. And I'll give name as program, prog1, program 1. Then we can choose the legacy device as 8089C51. So select this 8089C51, click OK. I'm writing assembly code, that's why select no. So this is the code. I will create a new file here and then start writing the code. org 4.0h, jump to main. Okay, I'm going to save this prog1.asm. Okay, I have saved it. Then I will put it main here. Okay, so then very first thing is take a counter, move r0 comma hash 255, move a comma hash 00h, then move it to the port 1 comma hash comma a, inc a d then z r0 comma up, then int. My up will be here, so every time it's going to increment it and then it is going to send the data. Okay, so I'm going to save it, the thing, and add it to the source group. I click on that, add to the source group, select your SM file, add to the source group, close it. Okay, compile it. So once you compile, so if the errors and warnings are there, it will be displayed here, 0 error 0 warnings. So I can debug and test whether it's going to send the data to the port 1 or not. So I'm going to take the A here and I'm going to take the port 1. So go to peripherals, select the port 1. Okay, both the things I have selected. I'll press F11 to step execute. So very first thing is 00, so 00 has been sent. Now A becomes 1, so this becomes 254 FE now. So it will send 02. So like this 0, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 24, 35. So continuously it goes on incrementing. You can observe this 4A, 4B, 5C. So this will work. Alright. So 6B, 6C, 6D, 6C. So like this it will go till FF and then it's going to reset out. Okay. So this is the code, how it works. Also we can write the embedded C code now. For that again go to a new project. New project. So I will open again new folder, C prog. So give the name as C program. So here again program 1. Again select your device 8089C51. So I've selected this 8089C51, click OK. Now we are writing as embedded C code. So copy startup file. So click on AS to copy the startup file. So once you copy that startup file, the startup file will be available here. So now you need to write a new folder and then start typing the code, hash include reg51.h. C is a case sensitive language. Void main I will write start curly bracket and curly bracket unsigned char z. I will take for z equals to 0 semicolon z is less than 255 semicolon z plus plus. So this is the for loop will execute for 255 times like 0 0 to ff. Then I can make p1 is equals to z semicolon. Okay, so also this will create a hex file. I'm going to save it with the same directory, C program prog.c program.c. It's saved. Now I'm going to add this particular code in the source group. So add existing files to a source group. So right click, add existing files to a source group. So here you need to select C file and then add this C file here. So C file has been added here. Now I can build it. So once I build, it compiles and gives 0 error 0 warnings. Again the code size is 24 bit. Okay. Now I can debug it. Once you click on debug, also it will generate disassembly code. Okay, here you will get a disassembly mode, like it's going to convert this your code into assembly level language. So clear a, move a comma r7, so it takes the counter into r7 and then it start executing the counter. Okay, so it converted dznz as well. So czn compare jump if not equal and all. So I will go to peripherals, IO ports, port 1, and then start executing this. So I'll put F11 for the execution. Now you can observe that one. So Z is go on incrementing. Z is 6 now, Z is 7 now, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F. So same code will work. You can observe here the counter. Okay, so Z, if you move your mouse on a Z, you will get the value 1A now. So like this it goes on executing the things. Okay, so you can observe this. If I click on a run, so it will till FE it will execute and then it comes out of the loop. Okay, so it's off now. So the counter should be 256 if you want to send it till FF. Alright. So this is about embedded C and the C programming. As we have discussed that it creates different intermediate files, list files and all. So we can observe that. So here it is a list file. So I can open program.lst file. So I can open with Notepad++. So or you can open with a Notepad as well. So here it is a list file. So here you will get all the listing of the code, like modular files and constant data size, constant size, p data, I data size. So X data size, bit size and everything. It's given errors and warnings. So this is a list file. M51 file is there. So in M51 file we'll get all the linking of the codes and absolute files, and then we can have different programming files, then different symbols, tags, symbol line numbers and everything. So these things are available in the M51 file. Then we have a startup list file is there. Okay, then under object files we have different objects files created, that is linked together as well under a linker. So these are the object files. So we can it is not visible, but we can get it opened with the Notepad++. So I'll show you how to open it. This is a listing file, LNP file is there. Okay, and then we can have this program1.file. Again I can open this with this, and this is object file. So this is not readable, but this can be read by the compiler itself. Okay, then we can have here program1.object. So I can open it. This again, this is not readable, but it's having all the opcodes and operands. Okay, and the thing is LNP I have shown, and the log file is there. That is again you can open with the browser, and you will get all the information about the log, when you started your compilation and everything, like tool version, tool chain, which tool you have used, like a license tool, for whom that tool is licensed, which are the different DLLs it's going to use, and what is the output, and what is the build time elapsed, so how much time it takes to build your code. So all the Microvision build log is available under a program1.log file HTML. Okay, so this is about writing and sending the program 00 to FF to the port 1. Okay, so next is write the program for embedded C to send the hex values for ASCII characters of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C and D to the port 1. So we need to send these ASCII characters. So here in this case I'm going to explain it here only. So hash include reg51.s. So this is a header file we need to include. Then void main, unsigned char mynum. Mynum is a character array. So here it is created 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D is the character array. Unsigned character Z. So here total 10 number of characters are there. So I have created one for loop for 10, and then my number of Z is going to take. So first a 0th ASCII character will be sent, then first ASCII character will be sent. Sorry. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. So like this it go on executing the things. Okay. Alright. So we are going to compile this afterwards. We're going to see another program write a program to toggle all bits of port 1 continuously. So here it is very easy program. So LEG51, again it is a header file, void main void for colon, this is similar as while one. Okay, so it is continuous loop. Okay, so this loop will not be end. So P1 is equals to 0x55. So alternate LEDs will blink. So the value is 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, and AA means 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. So alternate LEDs will blink. So this is P0.0 to P0.7. Okay, so like this you can use. All right, so we're going to see this in a programming. This we have discussed. So here it creates an array. So in this case array is stored like this. So there are 10 characters, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D. Okay, so this is my num of 0. This is my num of 1, my num of 2, and so on. So this is my num of 9. Okay, so like this array is available. So we can read this first character and send it to the port 1 by writing this program. P1 is equals to my num of Z. So Z is going to increment 0 to 9, 0 to 10. Okay. All right, so next program, so like, yeah, write a program, C program to toggle the bits of P1 port continuously with the 250 milliseconds. So here writing, so another thing is there is a timer, separate timer is available. So just now we have seen we can calculate the delay using machine cycle. So there are different ways we can calculate. One is by using machine cycle, second is by using timer. Okay, so still we have not learned these things, timer, but we have learned this machine cycle delay in assembly program. But how we can use it in a C program, here we are going to see hash include reg51.h. Then here it is a function declaration. So void ms delay is my function name, and it takes one argument as unsigned integer. Then here it is a function declaration, void main void while 1, this is a continuous execution. P1 is equals to 0x55. So this P should be capital 1. Okay, P1 is equals to 0x55. ms delay 250. So here I am passing the argument as 250. Here also I am passing the argument as 250. P1 is equals to 0xa. So void ms delay, it receives that data into I time. So here integer I and j. So it continues with I time. So here it is a magic number 1275. So if your frequency is 11.0592 megahertz crystal, then 1275 means 1 millisecond. So 1275 stands for 1 millisecond. So if I execute this particular for loop for 250 times, then generally it gives a delay 250 multiplied by 1 millisecond, that is equals to 250 milliseconds. So like this it's going to calculate the delay. So remember this number 1275. So how this 1275 comes? So we are going to learn this thing in timer. So while learning timer, we are going to see how this 1275 comes. Okay. So but this 1275 is for 1 millisecond delay. Okay. Remember this thing. So like this we can write a program for generating the delay of 250 milliseconds. All right. So next is write a program to get a byte from a data P0. So read the byte from a data from P0. If it is less than 100, so received byte is less than 100, send it to the port 1, otherwise send it to the port 2. So we need to compare whether a port 1 data received is less than 100 or greater than 100. So here it is an example. So hash include, this is a header file, void main void. Here we have created my byte. P0 is equals to 0xFF. This makes the port 1 as an input port. Okay. Then while 1, my byte is equals to P1. So whatever the data you will receive from port 1, that will be stored in my byte. If my byte is less than 100, so if it is less than 100, then send the data to the port 1. So port 1 is equals to my data. Else send it to the port 2. So here it is, they have used if else. Okay. If my byte is less than 100, then the data will be sent to the port 1. Otherwise, the data will be sent to the port 2. Okay. So like this, we can use if, while, for conditional statements as well in the C program. So, okay. So that's all about embedded C programming with microcontroller. Okay. So if you understood this lecture, don't forget to like this particular video. Also, those who are not subscribed my channel yet, please press the subscribe button and also press the notification bell icon for next upcoming updates. Thank you for listening. Thank you.